Who will die first in the metaverse?
Oh, wow. I think kids that...
Will we give birth in the metaverse?
He's going with the song.
Will we give birth in the metaverse? That's what I want to know. The Radium Podcast, episode 104. We're back in action, and we got some fun stuff to talk about today. The first question I got for you, Will, is who will die first in the metaverse?
Oh, wow. I think kids that...
Will we give birth in the metaverse?
He's going with the song.
Will we give birth in the metaverse? That's what I want to know.
With their girth.
How will we get girth in the metaverse?
Oh,
what's gonna happen, man?
It's gonna be worth.
It's gonna be worth. The metaverse is gonna be worth the girth.
Worth it. I don't know, man. I'm just here with my stolen mug.
Stolen mug, dude. You stole that shit.
Copyright by Will Martin.
Shit. So, guys, what this is all about right now is a big shift in technology, right? Like, I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I'm noticing everywhere, right? Like, iPhone 13 just came out, but now I feel like iPhone 14 is going to come out like any day now.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
It's not weird, man. I think technology is just like going over our heads so fast that no one's it's able to keep up anymore. Yeah. By the time they're trying to follow a trend is because it already passed. Oh yeah, I'm getting into crypto. Like, dude, like
crypto's so old, man.
Yeah, like
now we're on to the metaverse.
Metaverse, dude.
NFTs, that's like so last summer.
Are you into crypto?
No, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
it's like one of those things, man. Like, people want to jump on everything because it's new.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't think like that.
Yeah, I think specifically the crypto market. I just have some friends that introduced me to it, and I think we're pretty new into it. So I think it's still time to jump in it. But I think you have to be really intentional about how and what you want to do there.
Facts.
If you're treating as a way to get rich fast, it's not a good idea at all.
No.
But if it's something that you're really interested in, if you think the future of money is there or the future of financing is there, I think it's pretty interesting to just look it up, And I think the future of music is going to be around that area, around that universe of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, the metaverse. That's what we're going to talk about today. Cryptocurrency, it's something more than I thought. It's interesting.
I think like Bitcoin and trading coins and basically playing money exchange with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, people are gambling.
I really think that's like the bonehead structure of what this is.
Yeah.
I think people don't really fully realize what crypto is or blockchain, right? So really more blockchain. The whole technology of being able to make a one of one.
Yeah.
Right. And blockchain it in and have it through such a sophisticated algorithm that can't be just like hacked or copied, and it's tracked through digital blockchain, right? So I don't think people understand how important that part of it is.
Yeah. And
playing like with Bitcoin and Shibu and all this like coin stuff, that's sort of like the barbaric, archaic form of what cryptocurrency and what blockchain really is, right?
Absolutely.
So now we're getting into this whole metaverse thing, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is funny because let's be real, like y'all been living in your own metaverse for fucking years now.
Yeah.
Like you live in your phone. If you look at your phone and like how much time you spend on your phone.
Oh, how many pickups?
Dude. Just realize like that you spend the majority of your day on your phone.
The other day I was checking, I picked it up my phone 200 times in 8 hours.
See, it's like a compulsory thing.
It's crazy.
Like, dude. You're like, oh, I gotta I don't know why I'm doing this.
Times.
Yeah. So I think like the big thing about this whole blockchain, NFT, metaverse sort of thing, it's like beyond what people can really imagine right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not there. Like the technology's not there.
No.
Let's face it, like the VR, the technology for like going into a space like that, it's just really not that advanced. Unless you got a shit ton of money.
Yeah, even Mark Zuckerberg, when he introduced the metaverse right now, he said like, this is in progress. He's not introducing something that's done. It's, hey guys, we're working on this. It's a work in progress. So, but we're doing it. So hold on. It's more of a, I think what he did is just a way of introducing the idea little by little to people, so people get more used to it and start basically planning their next step on what is going to be the trend or what is going to be the future of this huge market that is
you really can't try to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not going to be able to figure out a metaverse. You're not going to be able to figure out all the possibilities with NFTs, blockchain, currencies, all that stuff. People right now are just like jumping on things to sort of short the market, right?
Yeah.
Like you saw even they had like Squid Coin, the Squid Game shit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Everything's going to be based on trends up front. That's just how it works. That's how any new technology works.
It was a fucking scam, the Squid Coin.
It's absolutely.
That's
all this
crazy,
all
dude.
this shit's scammy.
That's crazy.
Like that's the whole idea. But what I really am more interested in with this whole technology shift is the idea of where the music industry can go. And not only that, like I'm more fascinated by the artists that they already have that are based on AI and machine learning.
Yeah.
Right. And how important it is that to understand that shift from like you're spending all your time and all your energy and all your days making beats on your computer when really you could be just wasting your life right now.
Yeah.
Like you have to think completely different and you have to think about how you can get together with AI, machine learning, people that like know this stuff and developers, and even try to learn a little bit of the language yourself and start thinking about it like when computers first started taking over music production, right? So when we first got introduced to Pro Tools,
right?
You have to understand at that time how fast technology was moving was not that fast. So it was like, oh, Pro Tools, we called it slow tools, right? Everyone was like, oh, Pro Tools sucked because it would take so long and you hit render and then you have to wait and you have to wait. And it's like, remember, that took years and years and years to get fast. Yeah. Decades to get fast.
How many updates?
Bro, now we're at a time where exponential growth of technology and speed. If you know anything about Moore's Law or the Kurzweil theory, any of this stuff is like exponential, right? So when we first got Pro Tools, we were like here and it was just like creeping along with technology. Now it's like you're going to get the metaverse. It like we're at this threshold where you start going like this and the X goes like you start hitting that X point, right?
Right.
And the X point means that basically what you're doing with technology and what your understanding is, like your skill sets, there's going to hit a threshold there where the technology is going to surpass way past what you can learn and do as a human, right?
Right.
So now you have to rely on non-human factors. You have to rely on machine learning, AI technology.
Yeah.
You have to rely on the programming and the computer chips and the binary codes going so fast on these little tiny pieces of silicon.
Yeah.
That it's processing data and learning itself into artistry. Yeah. So you making beats is like could be in 2 years, and I'm serious, like that fast, could be a complete waste of time. You like got really good at making beats, and in 2 years you're obsolete because machine learning, because there's already producers and computer programs in the metaverse making beats, just like shitting them out. Like they don't need any input from you. They don't need loop makers. They literally have everything. They've learned everything through the internet and through machine learning and through all the music and records of all time.
Right.
So now we're getting to that threshold where it's really that's really.
What is your speculation on which skills people should invest their time on to secure their future? If you're in music, if they're in any creative space, because what seems that machine learning AI and we cannot surpass the speed of processing on that level. So what will be your speculation around that?
The same thing that's always going to make you human.
Right.
which is taste making. It's understand tastes. It's understanding what's cool and what's not cool. What's a vibe and what's not a vibe.
But even that could be put into an algorithm.
Yeah, sure. But, sure, but then like humans always have to translate that through emotion. And we're far away from, I get like what you're saying. Yeah, okay, but you could calculate everything.
What is the cool factor,
Right.
If they calculate it like a million songs and create a cool factor, there you go,
Yeah, but you have to think like the metaverse and the whole idea of this new world where people can connect virtually, basically, right? It's a virtual world.
Yeah.
If you start to get a majority of the world, or even like a billion people, right, which would be like a certain percentage, right, a seventh, an eighth of the world on the metaverse, and they're all deciding to get in there and group together and go, to shows together and NFTs and blockchain their music and have their music playing in different rooms of the universe, metaverse, and nightclubs and cities and all this stuff. You have to understand that that's going to be more niched out than anything has ever been niched out, right? So the only way things become really, really big and popular and exponential, right? Like the growth there is always going to be through economic value, right? Like, can you promote enough? Can you convince the population that it's really popular, right? So what ends up happening is you have to get ahead of the gatekeepers, right? Like the Facebooks and like that's why it's scary that you have Mark Zuckerberg talking about a metaverse and like how he's going to be a part of putting this thing together, because right away you understand that when NFTs came out, people were like, now the people are going to run the music industry and no labels will be needed. Like, bro, you guys are completely high out of your minds. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're not paying attention if you really, truly believe that NFTs are going to come and just crush the record labels in the industry. No. Hold on. These people have more money and power than you do always, right? So they will always be able to capitalize on that, spend marketing dollars, develop their own AI, machine learning,
on tools,
artists,
on coins,
and bring in what's popular and what's cool by finding the right tastemakers and the right people that understand psychology. It's very, very basic, right? If you have the money, you can afford to build the AIs and the cool AI artists, right?
Right.
The cool AI productions, the cool shows that all the cool kids want to go to in the metaverse, right?
Yeah.
So otherwise, you have to get really niched out. So I think that that's kind of how it's going to work in the metaverse, just like it does in the real world, right? People want to go to the desert and they want to go to the big shows and they want to spend the money to be seen. And that's exactly what's going to happen in the metaverse. But then I think that it does open up probably at the beginning, but not towards the middle or the end of when we start to expand and this starts to develop.
Right.
Just like social media. When you put out Instagram, the reach is organic, everything's open, and then it slowly becomes you have to pay. I can't afford this. I'm not getting any reach, and now only 3% of my following sees any of my shit. Is it worth it? I don't know. They leave, right?
I think just watching all those fucking movies, Ready Player One, Blade Runner, all those movies that mess with some sort of metaverse. I think the fun, if the metaverse would be here today, I think the fun part for me would be to be included in sort of a hybrid world. I don't think like I would be comfortable in a totally immersed digital world.
No, because you have a physical body.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to see like us playing poker with ARs, AR technology here.
And be in the same room, like be able to go to Brazil.
Or go to a mountain in Brazil and their information on the mountain on your on your Oculus or whatever. That would be dope. If that happens, I'm down. Sign me in. And I think that in music, it'll be super dope too. Like
go to the studio.
Yeah, or you're watching a concert and the music video of that song is playing on the back while you're watching the artist live there. That would be super dope. I mean, we're just speculating here, but they probably already thought about like 1,000 possibilities with that, right?
Well, they're already doing it with immerse audio and stuff, right? So it's already been in the works with like being able to, like, here's what I think is really exciting about it, right? like I say, oh, dude, I'm in Hollywood, and someone else says, dude, I live in Colombia, right? And I'm like, well, I want to make a record with you. Okay, cool. Let's jump in the metaverse and just let's go to this studio. Let's just build a studio. I actually built a metaverse studio, and it's like $1 million metaverse, Bitcoin studio, because I had all this Bitcoin, so I put it into a studio building, and I had these
analog gear, UAD.
I had exactly. I had these designers. I had the best engineers.
That'd be cool.
Like make these plugins and things that like are going to give us everything we need, right?
Yeah.
So you have like an immerse Dolby Atmos setup with like your favorite speakers. They already do it with the Slate Digital VSX headphones, right?
Yeah.
You can go into the studio.
You have your own skins and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go in and you can be like, yo, I'm going to wear my chains, you know what I mean? But everything's going to cost money. Like people have to understand that, because who's going to design these chains in the virtual world, right? So everything's going to be costing you Bitcoin, NFTs, you're going to do trades, you're going to do all this stuff. But then you get to go to a really dope studio outside of like Colombia or in the hills of Colombia, right? Yeah. And you like get to be in the studio session where you have the immersive audio, where it's like, if you turn to the left, you're going to hear it like the speakers are here, and like just how it works, right? And as you walk out of the room, it's going to feel like the audio is getting filtered, and then you're going to walk back in and you'll be in the sweet spot of the audio and the speakers, and you'll be able to sit there at the laptop, and actually like, produce on the computer. Yeah. I think like all that shit is going to happen, and that shit's going to be the exciting part.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I don't think that it's going to ever replace like real life. Yeah. Like, come on, dude. Like, we have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to feel like chemical, besides chemical stimulations with like hearing and seeing and stuff. We have to feel it through what we eat and what we ingest. Like, you're not going to have like an NFT fucking magic mushroom. You can't smoke an NFT blunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, you can be at your house smoking a blunt and be in this real like weird world that's, fabricated, but dude, it's going to take a lot of computing power to get to the point where we can really like, change the chemical makeup in our brains. Yeah. Like truly.
Well, maybe the Neuralink can contribute,
right? Everything's... So all these guys got to come together and like make
hey guys, let's do a party, with NFTs, Neuralinks, and Metaverse. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about NFTs. It's been like 5-6 months since they released the whole NFT thing. And since then, as you said, people thought, oh, this is the revolution of the music industry. Now we have the power. And what I've saw is everybody that I ask, like, hey, did you make an NFT and are you selling or whatever? They know, I don't know how it works. Dude, what do you mean? Like you've learned so many things. Well, you can just learn how to put out an NFT. So people are like kind of very, kind of conservative still around the idea of creating NFTs and selling their own art forever. And why not, like, I think that the big leagues artists that are doing it, like Tory Lanez just like sold 1 million copies of his record in a second, something like that, through all NFTs. I think that the people who are in the industry, they're doing it already. But I don't see independent artists jumping into it. What do you think about it?
Okay, so that's exactly what I think about it, right? Yeah. It's like you don't all of a sudden change your popularity and your music business because a new technology comes around. Oh, I got UAD plugins and now I got a platinum record. Remember, it's just the way it works.
Remember people like jumping in clubhouses, rooms, trying to network with everyone. Like,
dude, I'm gonna get a deal because I got on Clubhouse. Like,
these
guys, there's a lot more to it, right? Yeah. So, number one, NFTs are never going to replace real marketing tactics. Yeah. Real great music and product. Real ability to entertain, real ability to, be an artist, right? Or producer or composer or, music film director, whatever the fuck. Like, you can't just say like, oh, I have my music only on NFTs now. And it's like, well, but you don't have a fan base in the first place.
Yeah, you don't have an audience.
Yeah, so who the hell's going to invest in your NFT? Yeah. And now I want to like really break that down a little bit. So the NFT is basically a way of saying, hey, we have this thing, it's a one of one, this song, it's a one of one, and you can be invested in this song. So if you put money into the song, you can own a part of the song, rather than the record label signing you and owning the master copyright and then 50% of the publishing or even more, right? Now you own 100%, but then you turn it to an NFT and say you start asking people to buy your NFT. Every time a purchaser buys your NFT, which you could set it at $1, you could set it at $100, you could set it at $1,000, and typically it's going to be through cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So to be like
Ethereum,
Polygon,
or like,
you can pick your crypto, whatever you want to charge for it.
Yep.
And you can do it through trading sites and stuff, right? It's very, very basic, but the most fundamental part of this is that when people buy your NFT, your song, it's a one of one, it's authentic, it can't be replicated, duplicated, etc., because it's like tracked through the internet, right? Through an actual blockchain code. So it's very, very secure, right?
Yeah.
Now this is like disruptive, I think probably more than Napster was disruptive to the music industry. And the reason being is because now you have a way of basically crowdfunding and fan funding, but it's not just crowdfunding and fan funding. It's literally going out and finding people that can invest with you.
Yeah.
So you can buy my song and you can own 20% of my song. I can own 80% of my song, and that song and that NFT can go out, and every time I play and every time I do this in the metaverse and I use it and exchange it, you get paid out in cryptocurrency. Right. Now, when that turns into like cryptocurrency is accepted worldwide and it's just like, you know, having cash in your pocket or an American Express, then we're talking about real disruption.
Yeah.
But that's not to say, and this is the part that always fucks me up, and I don't know why it's never even mentioned in these conversations. Why do we think that labels can't do that? Like, why do we think that labels can't just like
jump in and
buy ownership in a bunch of songs and NFTs?
They will.
What makes us so fucking high and just mentally not able to connect the dots that like, oh, I'm just going to have my NFTs and I'm just going to sell them and I'm going to own everything and then my fans will own it. It's like, dude, you have 5 fans.
Yeah.
And most of my fans won't even fucking buy my music right now. Why are they going to buy it when it's in an NFT?
They don't even have a coin.
They don't even have a coin way to buy NFT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So come on. And now we're expecting people to go, hold on, you're my fan, right? So what I want you to do is go learn about NFTs, go sign up with Coinbase, go buy into cryptocurrency, and then give me your cryptocurrency so you can have an ownership in my NFT. Dude, the majority of your fans are never going to do that.
By the way, even if
they won't even go stream your song on Spotify.
Exactly. They wouldn't
for free.
Pre-save your fucking song for free. Exactly.
Right.
One part of the equation that you're sad is the traffic. Who owns the fucking traffic? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
All the social medias, all
traffic,
the big ass companies. So you think they're not going to jump into it? Like, it's just a matter of when. It's not even if, you know? So yeah, I think people are really delusional about it.
The technology does not replace the marketing technology.
No, nothing.
It doesn't replace anything else. Like, I think people like give this way too much power. They're like, this is a game changer. It's like, is it? Is it really? Like, do you think because you made an NFT out of your music or your art or your digital art or whatever, and like right now for some reason someone gave you $1,000 for it, like you know, it's just like one-off shit that people love to brag about on the internet. But the truth is we're like so far from convincing people to take their hard-earned cash that they work 50, 60, 80 hours a week to get, to then turn it into this digital thing and then, you know, just trust the system and then buy my music and invest your hard-earned money that you turned into digital cryptocurrency to then invest in my song and think that it's going to be worth something. It's like, you still have to go through the process of selling and marketing and branding.
Building
and
a fucking audience.
Everything that goes into doing music right now. Why do people get such a hard on for this idea of NFT and like, oh, see, now the music is in the fans' hands. It's like, is it? Like, how does a record label can't like go out and just buy catalogs of stuff off of NFT and then sell it to you? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now they have this
Idealistic. It's very idealistic thinking that like, because we came out with a new technology, everything's going to change. People are going to change. Humans are going to change their behavior completely because we have a new blockchain technology. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, go read that book, 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, and you're going to... It never changed. It never changed.
It still hasn't changed.
I read that on college in 2014. No, 2014.
Hundreds of years, dude.
Graduated. Like, it's probably 2011 when I first read. It never changed.
Facts.
It never changed. So, yeah.
So I think that the way that this is really going to affect the industry is I do think that the artists that are at the threshold, right? Mm-hmm. The artists that were like, man, I'm at a threshold. I've been shopping for deals. I got projects out. I got RCA hitting me up. I got, Capitol Records hitting me up, and they want to make a deal and they want to do this deal, and I've been negotiating. Mm-hmm. Now those artists are in a much better position, right? Yeah. Because now they can say, I actually have real fans, mm-hmm. right? So my real fans, I can easily go, I'm going to NFT my stuff. Or a project or two, or a single or two, or a live performance or two, etc. And I can go and make just enough money to not ever have to sign a deal with the label.
Exactly. I think that's the freedom.
That's where you go. Okay.
Exactly. That's where artists that are real artists, not even real artists, but that they have some audience they can get free from.
So that right there,
from every contract,
that is the answer to the actual industry starting to change.
Yeah,
because disruption forces change. Okay.
Yeah. So
that goes back to Napster, right? Mm-hmm. Now the music industry has a responsibility, and I'm talking to you fucking labels out there. You guys out there with millions of dollars and big catalogs with billions of dollars in catalogs. You have an opportunity right now to not do what you did when you fucked up when Napster hit. That's it. Yeah. You can either move fast and you can figure it out right now, or you can decide, no, we're just going to do what we've always done and let this, let Napster take over the industry and people stop buying CDs, right?
Yeah.
And then that happened, and the labels and everyone was like, oh, that's stupid, sucks. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's not do anything about it, because the music industry is still young, but it's a slow moving old man, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because like now we're at a point where you have another chance. You have an opportunity here to look at what's coming, look at the NFT market, look at the independent artists, the people that could easily disrupt everything, take all your advance money and all your bullshit that you've been giving and your payments that you give completely late, and you don't care about half the artists, 80% of the artists. Well, I'm just speaking the truth. This is the truth, right? And I've worked with these big labels. So fuck you guys, seriously. But at the end of the day, you have to decide whether you're going to keep fucking people over, and you're going to play that game where they're just going to destroy you. NFTs will destroy you. Blockchains will destroy you. And this whole metaverse and everything else will destroy you. And you'll have to rebuild a business platform and figure out what you got to do, which sucks for the A&Rs and all the people that work so hard in those labels.
Yeah, the thing is going to happen if they do that, if they get late to the game, is just they're going to have to invest 10 times more than if they just
and they have to lay off all these people, just like they did with Napster.
Yeah, exactly.
They had to put all these awesome A&R and all these people that work so hard to build repertoires and build up artists and artist develop and all this shit, which they're not doing anyway right now. So who gives a shit, right? But like, they're going to have to do all that, and they're going to have to lay all those people off that worked their ass off to get there. Yeah. The people that had to shake hands, they had to go to all the fucking things and go, man, I'm working my way up the music industry, and then it's just going to go...
Yep.
It's just like, dude, it's like the big snap when Facebook ads changes or Google ads changes. It's the same thing with the music industry. Yep. And with all digital art. Don't get it wrong. I'm not saying it's just music.
Yeah.
It's digital art everywhere. It's motion graphics. It's, you're making films, right? Oh, I'm making films. I need this great, sound effects and visual effects team and stuff. No, you don't. Now you got everybody in that game, and they're selling that shit, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, okay, here, you want this new preset and this thing that I just built out, this world that you can build a whole film around? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Okay, well, it'll be this much in Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. It's opening up a thing for the digital world, like where you have digital effects and digital music, and you have digital licensing, and that's what's gonna be disrupted completely.
Yeah, I think all the talent from entertainment and arts industry, they're gonna be more independently represented.
Yeah.
So they're gonna come exactly as you said. Great FX artists, great colorists, great musicians, great composers. They're gonna have their own way to sell themselves, and people are gonna look for them. Like, okay, how do I find this visual artist? Oh, he just works for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Now he has his own NFT store. You can buy all his shit for Ethereum, or whatever. So yeah, I think things are gonna change, and
it already has changed.
Yeah, it already has. Yeah. What I'm thinking is just it's about the reachability of those platforms to people. Right now, it's like 1% of population even knows about that. When it reaches like 30% of the world, maybe we're gonna see that more clearly.
Yeah, you have to understand right now what's going to end up happening that people aren't talking about is more third world countries are going to adopt this all of this digital Bitcoin, crypto.
No, they already
NFTs,
are.
But they're going to way faster than first world countries, and that's going to make first world countries into third world countries.
Yeah.
Because it's the same principle as what Napster did to the music industry. Everyone has to pay attention. When you move slow and you don't pay attention to what's going on, and the rest of the world does, and it gets ahead of you with technology. Yes, technology, because that's what changes the world. Like, think about this: water filtration, desalinization of water. Think about the basic fucking necessities of the world. How are these problems solved?
Tech.
Always tech.
Yeah.
How do we put out fires faster? We have all these disasters, climate change, etc. It's always going to be tech. It's always going to be technology that saves the day. Yeah. So when you talk about industries and you talk about cultures and you talk about economics, because that's what it is. We're saying the US of A is an economic place. It is when you go to Las Vegas, those are economic businesses, okay? People, they put their money into the casinos, into the buildings, into the real estate, into everything that's there, the shops that provide the services that you buy booze from. It's an economy, okay? Yeah. That's what we're talking about when we talk about NFTs, cryptocurrency, etc. And when we get into that and we talk about third world countries adopting that really quickly and going in on that, it's because they have less to lose.
Right.
They're like, look, our economy sucks right now. It's not working anyway. So let's give people access to cryptocurrency and be able to say, hey, look, it's legal, use it, spend it, because now what you're doing is you're saying, hey, Argentina, Venezuela can now grab the money and the crypto from anywhere in the world just with an internet connection, and we can bring more money into our economy, our local economy, right? The US is going to be slow to adapt it, which sucks, and it's going to turn the US into a third world country. Yeah. I think we've already been kind of going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I mean, this country has deteriorated over time for the last 10, 20 years, you know? And I'm talking about economy. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We're just like sitting on our dicks on Instagram all day and quitting our jobs because I don't like my job. Fuck it. I'm going to sit at home, make beats, make my mom pay my rent. It's crazy. So when you have countries that do want to work, they do fucking want to work. They want to make money. They will do whatever it takes. They'll get off their ass and they'll take that job. They don't want to work. And then they go, hey, we're going to pay you in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, they keep innovating because the problems are still there.
Yeah, because the power of broke.
Yeah,
when you're broke and you're desperate, that's when change happens.
Yeah,
and the U.S. is really good at this. And I think the record industry, and that's why I'm making this parallel, is that the U.S. and the economy here is very okay because they keep us with our spoils, right? We got our phones, we got our. I'm comfortable. I can order Postmates. I can get a credit card. They keep you with this bait, this little hook, and they like kind of pull you along. Like, you're fine, you're comfortable, right? See, you're not getting kicked out of your house. You're on your phone right now, right?
Right.
You're watching the new Netflix series. See, now you can watch it. You can afford your $8 a month Netflix, so you're fine. Look how comfortable you are. You're eating, So, and they'll never take that away from you. But imagine if they did. Imagine if the U.S. said, no more iPhones or internet service.
That's what China did.
Right, but that's when people uprise. You see what I'm saying? So, like,
the government knows that.
That's when disruption happens. That's when people go like, wait, you took away my comforts. you kicked me out of my house, right? Like with the whole COVID thing and the house rental thing expiring, people start rising up again. People start freaking out again, right? And that's really, really important to understand is that the U.S. will never do that. They'll keep you with your spoils. They'll shoot you over the $600. They'll give you the $1,200. They'll give you the little breadcrumbs, and keep you going. And you're like, oh, this isn't bad. I guess this is fine.
Yeah.
But they're not adopting, crypto. They're not opening up shit. They're not saying like you can now just pay with crypto. But some of these companies are Venmo, PayPal. They're going, hey, you can get crypto now and you can trade through Venmo. So I think like that has to happen on a local government fashion with the U.S.
Right.
California has a really big responsibility, right? Like they can open that door. They can say, hey, we can now accept cryptocurrency at any of our federal places in like California state. You can go to a dispensary and pay with crypto to get weed. You can get, your medicine from CVS using crypto. You can do this using crypto. When they do that, they expand the economy. They don't compact it. It doesn't get screwed up that way. It expands it because you're getting money from all over the world instead of from your job that you're working locally.
Well, seeing the history of world, it's going to come from private private companies.
Well, it's taxation. That's why they don't want to. They want to. Everything wants to be taxed, especially in California, right? Like we want to tax your income tax, your state income tax. We want to tax every time you spend money. We want to tax your property. We want to tax the fuck out of your businesses. We want to tax everything. And so that's the really hard part is why it's not happening faster in the U.S.
Right.
Because we love to tax. We fucking love it. Anyway, let's take some questions.
Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Let's see if we got some questions here. I got Instagram.
You still have time. Drop in the comments if you have any questions.
Drop a little Q&A, baby.
About Metaverse, NFTs, my
NFT.
Workout routine.
No, seriously though, will we give birth in the Metaverse?
Wow, that would be crazy for a little.
Won't it be crazy?
A little.
Could you imagine, like, dude, like little babies, like NFT babies happening? Dude, it could get wild.
And if you don't help, the baby actually dies. That would be crazy.
Oh, come on now. And then they do like Texas law, and they're like, you can't abort your NFT baby.
Whoa. That's crazy.
All right, I got some questions here. They're really funny, though. So this one's from @Godfrey.effect7.
Whoa.
Why are 808s in beats so hot?
Well, I think...
You want to take this one?
No, you start with that one, because
okay.
I want to see your answer, and I go on top of that, because that's a more historical thing, right? Because it comes from, disco, 70s, 80s, and then comes from that, all the drum machine, revolution. Yeah, you can go from there. So
the interesting thing about the 808, which I don't know if a whole lot of people understand this, but the 808 machine was not like cool at all. Like nobody fucking liked it when it came out. Yeah. So they like literally had these machines. They were really expensive and nobody really wanted them because it just wasn't a dope sound. Like nobody was making that kind of music, right? And so they would like basically pawn them off and put them in pawn shops and stuff, right? They're like, we don't want these, sell them to pawn shops, Roland 808 machine, whatever, like this thing's garbage. Like it's too much sub bass and like just don't really like it. And we don't have speakers that go that low. So who did have speakers that went that low, was like, poverty stricken neighborhoods, right? Where they're like, dude, wait, I can make music with this thing that I found at a pawn shop, this 808 thing, right? And it's just like got that huge 808 boom and stuff. And so that's when hip hop adopted it really. Like it was like, you'd find it in like these ghetto neighborhoods at pawn shops where they'd pick them up for dirt cheap. And they started making music with 808s, right? Or making beats and stuff. Also, it came part of Jamaica as well, right? With the sound systems, the huge speakers. Right. Yeah. But that was kind of like just cultural, you know, in like the Bronx and like in New York and block parties, all that stuff. So big speakers, and then you had like this drum machine, and then like people picked it up in hip hop and started just making like these crazy big beats. But it was all because those machines nobody wanted them. That's crazy. And because like it found its way into pawn shops and they were just like being given away for the most part. Right. And now if you try to get an 808 machine, like an actual 808 machine, like they're like $9,000, dude. That's crazy. Like, could you imagine? And dude, we have so many 808 samples now, right? but I think that's why they're hot in beats though, is because it became a sound of hip hop. Like
Yeah.
And it became bombastic. Like, you know, even if you go all the way back to African rhythms and drums, like if you know anything about djembes and duduks and all that stuff, you know they have these like really low resonance, you know,
Right.
boom, boom, you know, like they're these really low drums, and it was just really prevalent in African rhythms.
Right.
So that's why it became so hot, man. Like 808s just fucking dope because they go so low, and it's like that thunder, you know.
Yeah.
Is that
They sound great. I love 808s.
everybody loves 808s.
I just think it's just so overused, and you know, people are using it the same way. There are so many ways to use 808 that people are not like.
Yeah, you really have
to.
You have to really like explore stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when 808 distortion became like a really dope thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like
very
like
greedy.
it was like, and it was through Fruity Loops. Like people were distorting it with Fruity Loops, the distortion plugin on there. And then, you know, the Clipper or whatever.
Yeah, RC20s later. Yeah.
Yeah, but before RC20s, then the Portamento 808 happened, right?
Yeah, the slide. Yeah.
You know, so like that became hot for a while. And now it's really short 808s. I mean, fuck, I don't know what it is anymore, to be honest. Like, I'm not just up on 808s all the time. But now it's like that floppy, distorted, you know, just like really short 808s.
Right.
That's like hot in pop music.
Who knows?
All right, we got another question. Hopefully that's why 808s are so hot in beats. I don't
Nice.
really know.
I love it.
When you write a track, this one's from at T Sapio. When you write a track, do lyrics come first, last, alongside the music, all in the box?
For me, it depends. It's never the same way. There's so many times that I'm in the car driving and I have a melody idea. Sometimes I'm just playing guitar and I have a phrase idea that it comes all that. Sometimes I just have a theme in my mind. Okay, I want to, you know, talk about, I don't know, NFTs, whatever. And then and then I have to sit and write the lyrics about that. But I don't think it's just one way. What about you, Brad?
So, like, lyrics coming first. Here's the thing. Like, my favorite songs that I've ever written, they came to me like when I'm not in the studio. So that's the first thing.
Same.
Like, it'll be a phrase like I'm on a walk, or I'm working out, or
Living.
you know, I'm like having a beer, like hanging out, and like I have some sort of phrase come into my head. And I think that's really important. And you know who I learned that from was I learned that from Jack Johnson when like back in the days, like I think I was probably like 22, you know, 20, 19, something like that. Jack Johnson had released this DVD of him, forget what it's called, but it was like a DVD like showing his tour, right?
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, and it was really cool, and like there was behind the scenes stuff, and he was talking about his process, and he's like, I always like go surfing, and I'm like on a wave, and I'm like riding a wave, and I'll come up with like the hook.
That's crazy.
It'll be like the melody and the lyrics, and like it's like a phrase. It's a thing that happens when I'm surfing, and it's very rare that like I'll be in the studio like trying to write something and it like works out and it's cool, right? And dude, I swear to God, from then on, I was just like, I never thought about it like that, but then I just started like letting things kind of come to me.
Yeah.
And it's always like a phrase.
Yeah.
It's always like, you know, like 15 minutes to midnight. When I wrote that song, I was like, just 15 minutes to midnight, baby, and I'm I just had that like that phrasing in my head and the melody, and then I just started trying to like, you know, change certain lyrics.
Right.
Like, because sometimes it'll come out as like, you know, we're just 20 minutes. No, we're just 18 minutes to midnight. No, that sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you just kind of like you find the pocket of it.
Right.
But that's typically how it works for me. But then also like another part of that question was like, am I all in the box? Not necessarily. Like sometimes like you write songs on guitar too, right?
Yeah, all the time. All my bass lines actually.
Bass lines are really important.
Bass lines, I just get anything that has strings on it and play. So if I'm with my nylon guitar close to me, I just play because I'm, you know, it's my first instrument, so it's easier for me to think about, you know, scales and shit. But
But sometimes it just like guitar speaks differently.
Yeah, like
because you can be
slide,
more
bend. Yeah,
you can be more expressive with it.
Yeah,
and I think like that helps with the writing process for sure.
Yeah,
like I used to only write on guitar.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I'd play like chords and just like sing and hum and
also it also would depend if I'm trying to cheat my own way of making music. If I'm too caught up on my own ways, I try to get off of that. I just try something completely new. So, a new instrument. Okay, I'm going to start with, trumpet, whatever. And then I go from there.
I think probably like my most used technique for writing melodies and lyrics is going to be like sitting down on the keys and playing like a chord progression and humming a melody, like, and then finding the pocket of that melody.
Right.
And then of course, like structuring the chords around the melody.
Right.
Right. So like I'll open up the chord, and I'll put the third on top or whatever. Right. And just find like that pocket where it feels really good. And then, loop it and find like a loop there. And once you have like a solid melodic idea that's like, pretty structured, then you can start like coming up with the lyrics of what the melody's making you feel.
Right.
Because a lot of times for me, it's like gibberish at first.
Yeah.
But dude, like
Same.
Music writing and lyrics and melodies, you have to let that shit come in.
Right.
Like it's what it is with like great songs and writing your own songs. It's like letting your experiences and all of your influences just come to you. And it just happens. And then some people will be like, oh, that sounds like this. And other people will say, this will sound like that band, you know? And they're all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just all of everything and you've done in your music. Yeah. It just all comes together. And then all of a sudden, like some phrase comes out and then you have like an idea and then you got to tell the story behind it, which I think people forget. Yeah. That's the part that I think is the hardest part for most songwriters is tell the story. Like stories have like height of drama. They have like moments of compassion. They have moments of insecurity.
For sure.
There's moments of questioning. There's moments of desire. There's moments like a good story is not just like, I'm just badass.
Yeah.
That's just not,
I'm
so badass. Everything about me is badass. Okay, cool. This story sucks and it's not taking me anywhere,
Yeah.
So I think you have to really have, that's why Drake was always on top of the billboards, right? Because he always had the Drake drop where it all filtered out and he got really emotional and personal. And he told his story and he connected with an audience. And people go, whoa. And the female audience and even the men, like all the male audience, like everybody, like they just went, he's being vulnerable.
Yeah.
This is great. Even though he's saying, I'm badass. But then he would be like, break into that, like, filtered out section where he's like, but girl, but I really love you and you broke my heart. My mama loves you too. All that shit,
Yeah.
So I think that's important. All right. Well, so we got one more question I'll do here. Let's see here. From Adam Maznev on YouTube. Any tips for finishing songs? I always struggle to finish them. Ooh, Adam. I'll let you start with that. I got plenty of tips for that.
You had a whole course on how to make songs, song creation formula.
That's true.
So the way I do it, I start asking for people's opinion, people that I respect opinions. So sometimes I ask Brad about the mixing, sometimes I ask other friends what they think. And ultimately, if I don't have anything else to say on that song, I just call it out, because there's just a limited amount of ideas that you can put in one song. So if I think I'm going too far, I start comparing versions and it's going too far from the original idea. I just go back and call it out. Because you have infinite ways to finish a song, but I think it's all about it is serving the song. You're still serving the song. If you're still adding stuff or taking too much and you're seeing the song is shifting too much, I think it's you went too far, So yeah, that's what I do. I start asking for opinions, and if I agree with them, if they don't have much to say other than small tweaks or mixing issues, I just call it out. Yeah.
So I think finishing songs, if you have an issue finishing songs, you're not there yet.
Yeah,
that's the best way to put it, right? Like you have to go back and you have to make a disciplined routine to finishing your songs. Okay, so it has to be like a checklist, basically.
Yeah.
You need to treat it very basic, and you need to stop thinking that you're just going to randomly write a hit song, or that you're just going to, when you finally finish a song, it's going to be a really big record and everyone's going to fucking love it. You have to go through the Bruce Lee method, is what I call it, right? You have to practice one kick 1,000 times. So the one kick that you need to practice is finishing songs, right? So the way I do it, obviously I've done a whole song creation formula, right? Like I've done 7+ hours of videos broken down on exactly my process to finish a song from start to end, right? And then now I have song creation challenges, right?
So finish your song.
Yeah, like I have a group, like 14-day challenge to finish a song full out, right? With process, and like I guide you through everything. And dude, like I don't know why there's not like 5,000 people in that, right? There's more like 5 people in those challenges every time it happens, right? But those people are killing it. Like they're coming out with songs, and they're finishing songs, and they're good songs,
and they get momentum as well out of it.
They get momentum, and that's what finishing songs about. But going back, if you're having a hard time finishing songs, you need to make it into a process, which is you just have to do like a step-by-step thing, right? A formula. And if you can formulate your song process and get through that formula over and over and over, don't even worry about like where those songs are ending up. Like, oh, but it didn't come out that great, because I'm not very good at mixing. Okay, that's why you got to practice that kick 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Because if you go through the process 1,000 times, you're going to find your weakest points, and then you're going to figure out where you need to improve your process. And that goes into get coaching, learn from master classes from people that know what they're doing with mixing, or maybe
delegating,
hiring.
Sometimes you try to do something and you're not good at it, or you don't want to do it,
But you'll never know that until you actually get through 1,000 songs,
Exactly.
So I think like the important part for most people that have problems with finishing songs is that they're not in a process. What they are is they're trying to be inspired to sit down and make music, and when they start making music, and then when they get uninspired, they stop making music and they start something new, right? That used to happen to me all the time, and it still does. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm going to be 38 years old this year. I've been making music for going on 25 years, and I still have plenty of starts on my hard drives, like hundreds of starts, and just like 8-bar loops, 16-bar loops, and hummed ideas, stuff I don't even want to finish.
Yeah.
Right. Like why do I want to pursue that?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to set out a process up front. Like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make a chord progression. Okay, and that's what that song creation formula is all about that I did. It shows you exactly my process. Yeah, step by step. And so if you want that, you can pick that up. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything right now, but
Radium-records.com.
Yeah. So Adam, he's asking, so is there a specific formula to finish songs? I get stuck in the cycle of tweaking EQs and just messing around with effects. Yeah, just what I said, man. Like, check out the song creation formula. That's exactly my step-by-step process, and I think it'll really help you. And then jump into the challenges. I do a challenge like every month.
Yeah, the challenge is free. You just have to pay for the masterclass.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of bonuses with the masterclass, like samples and stuff.
And there's a community groups that...
They're cool. They're great people.
You can always collab with someone. It's always good. We highly recommend.
Yeah. So and also, dude, like, stop smoking so much weed.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No,
or smoke more.
Yeah, or smoke more. I don't know. Who knows? But dude, I'll tell you, one of the biggest barriers to my music was only doing music when I was intoxicated. Like, straight up. Like I when I was young and I started doing music, like when I was a teenager, I would fucking get high and I would tweak EQs for hours.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Because I was learning, but also because I thought it was just so much fun to get high and like play with the EQs and stuff, like, oh, that's crazy. And then, like, make music and like,
you felt that was progress as well.
Yeah. And you feel like you're like making progress, but at the end of the day, all you're doing is just like getting high and just like going into a fucking whirlwind of tweaking plugins and EQs. And when you're high or you're intoxicated, you get really focused on singular things, right? Instead of being able to see the whole song and the picture and go, is this a good song?
Yeah.
No, why am I working on this, right? Or, man, do I need to rewrite this? Or is that chord progression working? No, it's kind of weird. That third chord sucks, right?
Yeah.
So instead of like really thinking about how the song's coming together, you're like, the snare kind of sucks, man. I need to put a API EQ on it. Dude, you're so like lost, you're never going to finish a song, you know? So that's my advice. But he says, that's true though. I hit that bong and jump on the DAW ASAP.
There you go.
There you go, dude. That's your problem right there.
Quit the bong and go to the bang, man.
Yeah. I make music and finish a song before you smoke, right?
Yep.
And then smoke and then tweak EQs on it or mix it or do whatever the fuck you want. Go screw it up later.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, guys, really appreciate your questions. Appreciate you tuning in. This is live, but we'll also have an edit of this podcast that we're going to release on Sunday. Okay, so look out for that. And tomorrow we're going to be dropping a plugin of the week.
Metatune.
We're doing
talking about Metaverse, Metatune,
the Metaverse, the Metatune, the metadata,
meditations. Whoa.
Met your mama. Yeah, so really appreciate you guys coming through though. Like, it always means a lot when people come in and drop questions and you know, like the video. Over 80% of the people watching this right now are not subscribed to the channel, which is
unbelievable.
It actually breaks my heart.
That's crazy,
to be honest, because it feels like why wouldn't you subscribe? Like, you just want to come through, grab some free shit and be like, F you, Brad.
That's crazy, guys.
Yeah, so
don't do that. Don't do that.
Subscribe, guys, and share it. You know, share the video, share the channel with people that need this stuff and it could help them or just want to bullshit with us. All right.
Peace, guys.